In today's video, I thought I would do a quick show of some of my more uncommon tools of the trade, things that I use pretty constantly all the time, but I don't see get talked about as frequently. So I just thought I would show off some of my favorites. One of the first is a water pot. Everybody, they're not expensive. A lot of people just use cups, but I'm telling you, the first time you accidentally drink your paint water, everybody admit to it. Stand up, raise your arm. Everybody's done it. Get one of these. A lot of times if you get an actual water pot, there'll be, like this one, spill free, or they'll have little things to help you, rub your brush on, or to help you run along the top, like the Citadel ones, to help you get that point. But a dedicated actual water cup, I personally have found very useful. Second is the blue tack, gray tack, whatever. This, especially for kit bashers, I love kit bashing things, making specialty bases or whatever, is extremely helpful. Most people just use this stuff to secure their mini down to a holder of some type. I mainly use this stuff to put my stuff together, to dry fit my stuff together in a semi-permanent way. So as I'm messing with them and moving them around, they stay together. So that way I can take things off, put things on, and get a really good idea of what I'm building, what it's going to look like. And so I can compare to, images that I've come up with or what have you. Next is dropper bottles. I use these religiously for all, because some of the stuff that we'll get, especially for more convenience, comes in large containers. You'll get a large thing of primer paint, or you'll get a large thing of whatever. And I don't always want to work with that large bottle. So I'll put in just a small. This right here is just a thing of distilled water. With this set was nice because it came with different colored lids. So I was able to put like a blue lid for my water, and I was able to put like some gray lids for homemade washes and that kind of stuff. And then of course, I also really like the larger ones. Usually you can find these, the restaurant or home, supply, where people will put oil in there to make salad dressings or whatever. Again, these are really great for, having one for distilled water. What I like to do is I'll do a 90-10 distilled water flow improver solution. And then from here, I'll pour this into my wet palette, into my dropper bottles. And then I'll have another one of these, again, so it's a little more manageable. And I will fill it up halfway with matte medium, and then the other half with this water solution. Then shake that up, and now I have lame medium, basically, or a wash base. And so then what you can do is you can then pour that wash base into one of these, and with this 15 ml size dropper bottle, it's usually about, a full thing of, again, 50-50 lame medium, or not lame, 50-50 matte medium, 50-50 water solution, and then usually about 20 drops of your color. About 18, 19 black, 1 brown, 1, 2 brown for your non-oil, or, around, that kind of thing. Usually about 20 drops of ink is what you want. And you can make your own homemade washes. So that's what I use a lot of that for. Then for my stands, for holding my minis, a lot of times I just use cork. And I super glue a washer down to the bottom, because a lot of mine, especially like my wolves or whatever, things that, are kind of like jumping forward, jetting out, wind up being then top heavy. So weighing them down helps them, stay on the table when I go to set them down. Another thing that I use a lot of are alligator clips. I use them mainly in two different ways. One, I'll attach them to just a skewer, again, so I can, grab usually onto, like one of the nubs on a miniature, or if I pin it or whatever, and I can grab onto that, and now I can, maneuver my miniature around and hold this really well. The other thing I'll use them for is I've attached a bunch just to the bottom of a red Solo cup. And then again, holding on to the nub or the pin or whatever it is, I can then prime these fairly easily. Especially with a rattle can, when I rattle can prime, this makes priming and moving them easy for me. Next item is more for gameplay, but they are coin shells, because I like to try to keep my stuff. I sleeve my cards where I can. I encase my tokens into coin holders. A lot of times you'll find they'll be designated for penny, nickel, dime, or whatever. And a lot of times they're the exact same size holder. It's just the filler in here is a little different. Usually, if you only see pennies, nickels, dimes, or whatever, a lot of times it doesn't really matter. You can get whatever you need. Said, sleeve my cards. Especially on ones, that where the tokens go into a bag and get shooken up and drawn from. I case my tokens. And finally, as I'm getting up there in age, eye magnifiers help me see a little better. The one that I got, I really like. It's got light built in. So it's got a light so I can put in right there. There's the light. But what's really nice is that it comes with multiple lenses, so I can change the amount of extra magnification as needed. But I found, especially as I'm getting older, these really help to see. And then, of course, great lighting. But again, that's pretty standard. So there is a grouping of some of my more, I feel, uncommon, not as talked about items that I pretty much use as a constant basis when hobbying. And I think you would benefit greatly. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned a little something. And I'll see you next time. Bye.